coaching career, have you ever had that oh crap moment where you thought you screwed up?
So, we're a smaller school, so you kind of have to recruit kids in the hall that you see. And there was one kid in particular that great frame. I mean, could have been a great ball player if we caught him early. But I convinced him to come out in the spring. And, this is probably, on me. I set him up for failure. We had just got full pads on for spring practice. And we're doing a tackling drill, right? But we never covered tackling before that. Didn't even go across my mind that this kid hasn't played football ever. Right, so he doesn't know. I mean, he's like a gladiator out there. He's just going to kill somebody. So I tell him, all right, man, on the whistle, just go tackle that guy. And when I tell you, I mean, if you watch WWE, you know about Edge and his spear, right? And he uses his shoulder, but this kid went full head on, just dove,
Just like you
right?
teach it, man. Head down, just torpedo into somebody.
I mean, just torpedoed. And I'm talking, if he was in college, just targeting, 10 times out of 10, he would have killed the kid. And he hit the crap out of the kid. Don't get me wrong. The kid tackled him. He did what I asked, but he comes up to me right after. He goes, Coach, man, my head hurts. And I'm like, I bet it does, buddy. I mean, your neck's going to hurt tomorrow, too, because you just sprung on him. But, I felt kind of bad because, I mean, he never showed up after that because I think
He was one and done, one hit and done.
yeah, I don't know what, I mean, I see him in the hall every time. I mean, he's fine, but he didn't get hurt. But
He's still scarred for life. He'll never forget
yeah, no, he's never coming
the
back.
day he tried
But
football. Yeah,
too
I had
bad.
my first year coaching. I was coaching JV, and yeah, we had our own little separate field because we practiced at the same time as the varsity did or whatever. Because we kind of had four guys that was their only job. They coached JV, and little did I know we didn't have a very good JV team that year. The season hadn't started yet. It was like the first day. I think we had just shoulder pads on. So you're kind of supposed to be doing just like some form-fitting tackling, nothing to the ground, nothing crazy. And I did an angle tackle drill because I just remember that's what we used to do back in the day, a little angle tackle for 5-10 minutes in practice. And I had them about 10 yards apart.
Huh.
And, no awareness about like who was probably the more athletic kids or who probably wasn't ready for the contact. So I put this dude, he was going to be one of our better players for sure on that JV group. I put him out there to be the tackler at the beginning, and I had Joe Schmo or whoever out there running the ball and hammered my whistle, like turned him loose. And I'm telling you, he knocked the crap out of that kid. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, crap, like I could have got that kid hurt because I just set him up to get demolished. But ironically, the guy that made the tackle like stayed on the ground. So then my next thought was like, oh crap, I got one of our best players hurt. Sure enough, broken collarbone, freaking out for the season. And then the JV team, we only ended up winning like 4 games that year, I think. So the prophecy was true that we were not going to be very good, but probably could have got another win or two if we had had that cat playing for us.
Well, actually, I got another one that I just thought of. You cut it out, whatever, if you don't like it. But this kid, another kid we recruited to come out. We've been hitting it hard within the halls of the school. And this kid's a soccer player. Again, never played football in his life.
Great start.
Yeah, no contact sport history ever, right? And yeah, again, we're doing an angle tackling drill. Spring practice, a rough spring practice for me.
It was the
And
same year?
same year. I mean, we had like 90 kids out there. We did a great job, but whittles down throughout the summer and everything. But I'll never forget this kid. I lined him up, and we didn't do any certain order. We just had 2 lines, and you rotated. Well, the 2 come up that are about to go, and I look to my left, and it's the soccer player who's never played football before. I look to my right, and it's our senior, Jack, who I'm talking, he's one of those kids where his shoulder's been broken for 3 years. He just keeps strapping it up and going. Paint's peeling off his helmet already.
Just held together with Band-Aids, duct tape.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Blew the whistle. And when I tell you this kid kills this, I mean, the kid does like a flip and then lands on his back. And I thought he was dead. He wasn't moving anything else. So I'm gonna walk up to him. I'm, hey man, you good? You good? Just, keep your feet under you next time. I mean, he got destroyed. And, again, he never came back out. But, he scored a goal in a soccer game tonight though. So good for him.
Hey, it builds character, that few days of spring ball he had back in the day prepped him up for his soccer career.
He got smoked though.
Yeah, speaking of just dumb moments, the equipment, like I don't know about you guys, but like our kids, like some of these things they want to have drip, like some of the equipment that they're throwing on because they
God,
want to
yeah.
have drip.
Yeah.
I don't know what is the dumbest thing you've seen? Like for me, I think it's everybody wearing the pacifier mouthpiece, even if you don't have
Yeah,
braces or whatever they were originally
yeah,
intended for. Or I don't know about y'all's guys, but you wear the opponent's gloves, the color of the opponent on the gloves,
yeah,
even if it's like they're the away team and they're wearing white, you're wearing red or whatever their color is.
yeah.
So Belichick used to tell them wear the same color as the opponent's jersey. That way you can't get called for holding or whatever. That kind of makes sense. But just wearing it because that's what your opponent wears, like, I just don't get it. I mean, what's some stuff you've seen?
What's unfortunate is that it's usually the kids that, I hate to say it, but are not going to touch the field that have the most drip. And I'm talking, they went to Dick's Sporting Goods and bought the sleeve, the back plates are huge, a leg sleeve, all this crap. And I'm like, dude, you realize you just wasted $120, right? Oh, you don't need any of that. But the most ridiculous probably is this one kid. He was a freshman, huge ego, great kid. Love the kid to death. He'll be a great ball player, when he gets a little older. But he had taped his entire cleat, athletic tape, colored the tape with black Sharpie to look like, I don't even know what you would call it. It's not like a Jordan cleat. It's literally like a 1950s square toe kicking shoe.
Do you remember in Friday Night Lights where he made fun of the guy for not having the black Nikes or whatever? Like he
Yeah,
was wearing white and he starts markering in. Like that's just what I'm picturing with but it's with
it
athletic tape.
athletic tape. I mean, they were so taped
God,
up he couldn't even tie them. He didn't even think about tying them. He just taped over the laces and everything untied, and just
God
spent
dang
like,
it.
I'm talking 2 hours just coloring. Went through like 3 Sharpies. Just
Must have been a
going.
slow day in the school building that day.
It was. And then, back plates are another thing. They're huge. I don't get it. They all want to tuck them up, but they know they're going to have to pull the jersey down anyway.
Do your kids have any of like the custom back plates where it has like words or something on the back?
Yeah, it
Because we
says
had
like,
like we got one kid wearing one that's got like dollar bills and stuff on the back.
yeah,
We
yeah,
got one
yep,
that says "Beware of Dog," even though he's like the
yep,
softest kid on the team.
yep. We had
God
one
dang.
that, God, what did it say? I can't even remember. It was like graffiti, bright rainbow colored everything. And it said something stupid like, I don't even know something dumb. But he taped it again with the tape. I don't know what our trainer's doing giving all this tape away, but tapes the entire back plate and writes a paragraph literally in Sharpie on this back plate. And in my mind, I'm like, A, you're going to have to cover that up. The ref's going to make you pull your jersey down. B, who has time to read that? Like, you got a whole paragraph on the back of your thing. And he's like, yeah, but, I'm like, no, take that off. That's dumb. Like, that's just stupid. Take it off. You waste the tape, you waste the Sharpie. No. And this was after the cleat thing, so I was probably already fed
Oh,
up.
it's the
But
same kid.
no,
Or it's,
different kid. But,
golly,
they're both JV boys, and, you'll talk about some entertainment. It's JV football. That's where it's
dude,
at.
sub-varsity football, JV. Like for us, we got two freshman teams. Now we got the two JVs. So you got your JV2, you got your freshman B. It's comedy. Like that's my
It's
favorite part
amazing.
about Thursday nights is that I just know I'm going to see something that's going to entertain the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's a show every time.
Yeah, that reminds me. Like next question, I guess, but like your favorite sub-varsity moment, like favorite Thursday night memory, because that's where I feel like all my stories come from is Thursday nights.
Well, first one that comes up for me is we're playing on the road. We just got moved into, South Carolina did some, not really realignment, but they had a multiplier rule. So these private schools are all bumped up divisions, whatever. We're in a region with, let's see, 3 private schools, and we're playing at their stadiums, a smaller stadium. And, it's a Thursday at like 6 o'clock. The atmosphere is dull.
But yeah, you gotta love it.
You're trying to hype these kids up, but even they're like, eh. Anyway, it's a close game. It's the fourth quarter, and we're driving to score to go ahead. I'll never forget it. This kid, amazing kid. Like, I literally, yes, sir, no, sir, will do anything you ask him 100%. He just, God didn't give him the most athletic physique, but by God, he'll try. And, on our JV teams, we try to get everybody in there at some point, get some reps. And
Yeah.
so he had been playing at, offensive line. He comes off the field. We continue to drive. We're about to score. And he's over right beside me. And, if you've ever seen Trailer Park Boys, Bubbles, the guy with the glasses, right? This kid's vision is terrible. They're, probably an inch thick, but he wears them under his helmet, whatever. They had come off or something, so he came off. He's standing beside us. I'm talking to our defensive coordinator, and I look over at him, and I mean, the look on this kid's face is always just like shocked. But he's trying to fix him, get him right, whatever. We score, and I'm talking to our defense coordinator, and the kid we're talking to is on our field goal team. So we score, and they're yelling, "Field goal, field goal!" And I'm just talking, and I look, and he's looking at me, helmet off, just chilling. And he goes, "How's it going, coach?" And I look at him, I'm like, "Aren't you on, field goal team?" He looks at me, he looks back out there, he looks it back at me, and just takes off sprinting, throws his helmet on. Then he stops. Right as he's about to, enter the field, stops, turns and looks at me again and goes, "Offense or defense, coach?" I said, "Field goal." But I mean, a great kid all around. But I mean, he's a never-ending source of content. I'll be honest.
That's the thing about sub-varsities is like there's so many sweet kids. There's so many kids that you love to death. Like
Yeah,
you want them to play football forever. You just know that it's not gonna, they ain't D1 bound. I
it ain't
mean,
it ain't
it's
for you. It ain't for
yeah.
you.
I don't know about y'all. Do y'all have any like kids who are delusional about their college aspirations?
Oh, 100%. We have a kid. Um, without getting into it too far, but he's very delusional. He thinks. I mean, you know how these colleges will send. They'll send a small college around us will send letters to our entire team. They'll send to our coach, just like camp information, whatever. Well, to him as a ninth grader, he gets these letters and thinks they're, it has his name on them. I'll give him that, but he thinks it's like, full scholarship offer. And so he gets these, he gets his hopes up, and then he goes out there on a Thursday. Granted, he's not even playing on Friday yet, but he's getting letters, right? He goes out there and something happens. He misses a block, misses a tackle, whatever. Comes back over the sideline just distraught. And he's telling me, he's like, man, these scouts gonna see that. They ain't gonna want me no more. They ain't gonna want me no more. And I'm like, buddy, you are 5'2", and you're about 3 bills right now. I promise you, that ain't the problem, okay? But it's honestly, it's a lot of these kids though. I don't understand. They're all kind of,
Well,
which is
and it's
good, but
I think they're in such a rush to I think half the reason they want the college attention and all that is because they want to like send the tweet out or put the
yeah,
Instagram post out that says they got like we had this kid. I mean, it's been a few years now, but so he gets an offer from this school that literally nobody's ever heard of, from somewhere in Florida or whatever, and it's like he tweets it out because he thinks it was like his first one, I guess, or whatever. And so he tweeted it out. And we all kind of saw it the next morning when we were showing up to work and things like that. We're like, man, did you see where's this school at that so and so got this offer from? So we do a little digging. I swear, I wish I could remember. It was like West Florida Technical something or another. It had like 6 different names.
yeah,
University was like the last in this like series. There's a whole sentence was the name of the school. And so I remember getting on the website. And first of all, you would go to click on like academics and it would like send you straight to a page not found. So
yeah.
then
That's always a great sign.
you go click on football and it was like schedule roster coaches. All right. Click roster. No information found. All right. Click schedule. No information found. So then I'm like, all right, so there's got to be coaches here. Like, if they've got a team, obviously somebody told this kid he's got an offer. So I go, there's 2 coaches listed on the coaches tab. So one of them's the head coach. It looked like the coach's picture on the school's website looked like a daggum like Tinder profile pic. It was like looked like somebody's uncle in the front seat of the car, like taking the selfie with the window in the background. The email was like something at Gmail, like
At
no dot
Hotmail.
edu, not the Hotmail, god dang. But so then the phone number, like had a phone number listed under it. I said, I got to do it. Like everything about this smells fishy. I got to call it. So I call the number up. It's like 7 in the morning. Sure enough, you get the old, we're sorry, your call cannot be
Jesus,
continued or whatever. I'm just saying, like, good Lord.
they must
It
they
is the
must have
Bishop
canceled the
Sycamore
phone
all over
contract.
again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
kids will believe like any little thing, and you're right. It's 100%. They just want to post. the thing on Twitter. They just want that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And
That's
there's,
it.
obviously there's the kids out there that truly love football and they just want to have an opportunity. And I wish those kids nothing but the best. But it's the kids that, like you said, they are just, it's all about them. It's all
Yeah.
about publicity for them or whatever.
Yeah.
That it's just like, you guys are delusional.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like that wasn't something like we had to deal with as much back in the day, probably because Twitter was like brand new.
No, I mean,
Now it's
we got
like,
in trouble with when we were in school with Twitter. I mean, I'm sure you remember having to run over the summer.
yes, that was back when like tweets, there was no apps on the phone, right? So like you had to go to the internet, and then if you wanted to see like Ocho Cinco's tweets, they got texted to your phone.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Ocho Cinco tweeted like 20 times a day, so you had 20 texts that were just his tweets. Heaven forbid you followed like 100 people. But yeah,
I mean, I was
I'll never
tweeting on an
forget.
iPod Touch. Like that's how long ago. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
My gosh, the glory days, man. Well, what was the whole what happened with us where we finally got busted with it? I can't even remember.
Uh, one of uh, one of our coaches at the time, I guess, had gotten on Twitter and had found all of our profiles, which mine has just been my name since I've started it, so it wasn't probably too hard to find. But started reading them, I guess, and we were talking about how bad the conditioning was the previous day on Twitter, and they saw it, and I'll never forget. I won't say his name, but you probably know who I'm talking about.
Well, I know, yeah, I know exactly.
And he lined everybody up on that line after weightlifting that day. And he said, quoted the tweet. And at that point, my heart sunk. And he said, I'll show you what a bad day is. And then we just went, I think it was county fair times like 3. And it
Man, not
was
the county
terrible.
fair. Golly.
I mean,
You
it
know,
was
that reminds me like, county fair, and we'll kind of explain that, I guess, probably here in a second. But that was like the worst part of our practice, right? That was the
just
one
terrible.
thing you dreaded.
I threw up
Like
every day. Didn't matter.
for the folks that don't know, so county fair was we had what, like 6 or 8 stations maybe.
I think it was 8. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 8 stations. We probably had what, 4 minutes at each station, somewhere in
Yeah.
there maybe.
Yeah.
And you're doing a different drill at each station. And a lot of people do different variations of this. And there's some good football drills you can obviously incorporate station work and stuff in. But I feel like a lot of our county fair was just about trying to make things miserable
Yeah,
and
like
just,
how can I make you hurt where you do not want to come here tomorrow, but you still will for some reason?
I'll never forget. What was the story where you puked?
All right, so it was the county fair, and we had just finished. I made it through all 8 stations without throwing up, and so I'm good with I'm happy. Well, you get a little water break, and then we actually went into some position work. So I drink my water, and I guess I drank too much, or I don't know what happened, but I was with the defensive line coach. I remember it. We walked over there, and it was the old chin strap. I think it's a Douglas chin strap, maybe. I don't know. It had 8 holes in the bottom of it, and I had it popped. Bottom straps were undone, and it was up over my mouth. I don't know why that would be good, but I'm starting to feel it. And we're working on stance and start, and I'm just like, and that moment where you've just given up and it's coming, like regardless of what you want
Yeah,
to do.
calling the dinosaurs.
And out of nowhere, I mean projectile. But what happened was it went through the 8 holes, and so it shot out like a sprinkler. It's like 4 feet in the air, and it was like 3 good just water just coming out. And I'll never. Line coach just turned to me. It's like, "Are you okay? What was that?" I mean, it like shot out. It was pretty cool to think about it, but I'd never been more miserable in my life. That was
Man,
terrible.
I just think back like some of the drills that we did. Like even when we were playing, like they kind of were getting to where they were outlawing a bull in the ring and
Yeah.
Oklahoma and some things like that. Yeah, I can't even imagine like, cause I don't know how y'all's practices go, but we really stay away from that's kind of taboo. Like we're
Yeah.
gonna do more like
Yeah.
functional stuff, and I think there's a time and a place to tackle and hit and all that good stuff, some short yardage stuff. But the old school like Oklahoma, like I remember middle
Beat the
school.
crap out of each
Oh,
other every
oh,
day.
absolutely. I think in 8th grade, in our middle school football team, which, obviously we're from a smaller high school. I think our high school probably had what, 900 kids when we were there.
Yeah, at the time, yeah, probably about
So I mean,
900.
not big teams throughout, But our 8th grade team, for some reason, every 8th grade boy wanted to play football that year. And it combines, right? The middle school, it combines 7th and 8th grade, where we were from. So you had your normal amount of 7th graders, but then you had this just surge in 8th graders. 98% of them didn't even play when they were in 7th grade. So we had 80 probably middle school football players out there. And this was before like the high school coaches helped out with practice stuff. So we just had 2 middle school coaches for 80 players out there. And I remember like we just lined up and did Oklahoma all day, every day.
Just beat
And
the
just
crap out
beat
of each
the
other
mess out of each
with
other.
shoulder pads from the 1980s.
And the bucket helmets.
With a
Remember
shoestring holding it together. Like, God.
the helmets, God, what were those kind of helmets? They had just like the rubber pad on the inside, the bladder or whatever. And it was
Yeah,
just like a ring around your forehead.
They outlawed Bull in the Ring, but not those freaking helmets. Those things were terrible.
Even
They're
when-
like the
after
air, shut air, maybe something. I don't know. They were terrible.
I just remember it had like in that little piece, like if it wasn't glued in there or whatever adhesive kept in there, it was falling out every time you
Yeah.
pop your helmet off.
And if it
You
came
just had
out,
the
you just
little
didn't have it. Like, it just wasn't there anymore. Deal with it.
And the forehead pad, like it wasn't a pad, it was a brick.
Yeah, I was like, you spray that in the house to insulate it. Like, that wasn't anything. It was not protective at all. And
But,
now, when I first got to I'm at Palmetto High School, if you didn't know, but when I first, got there, I looked at the helmets we had, and a few years ago, there's something, some grant or whatever, they had gotten, their Speed Flex helmets. They're, top,
yeah, good stuff.
recent, good helmets. But they had also had the, I don't know what they call it, the impact sensors all throughout. And so
They all had like the Ferrari version,
like the next step up is like custom molded. Like, it was like top tier for a high school.
hey, y'all are big balling.
But here's the thing, apparently that stuff broke like 1 year in. And so it's not even a thing anymore. It's just sitting in the helmet somewhere. But
Just electronics like sitting in the helmet.
Yeah, just a wire hanging out. You don't know where it's coming from. But apparently it would have sent like a message to our trainer if you got hit hard enough to qualify as, possible concussion, whatever.
Sheesh.
I'm like, wow, we didn't have that. You just got concussed.
It's
You
come
just
a
got
long
concussed.
way. Like, what was the helmet when we were getting into high school that like everybody was trying to have?
Everybody wanted the Rydell. I'm talking the Rydell, just the Rydell, the Peyton Manning, like
The old Revolution, like
the Revolution.
OG?
That's it. They wanted
Yeah,
the Revolution.
OG Revolution. The Peyton
That
Manning
was
special.
like, that was top tier. And we thought we were hot stuff in that thing.
And heaven forbid, like you had the face mask that had like the 2 bars that came down and looked real clean with the visor.
Yeah.
Like most of them were just like, 3 bars that kind of came across.
You had a quarterback face mask playing center.
Man, now we got kids that like, they'll just quit football if they don't get, the speed flex or whatever.
They just want the picture in the locker room. That goes back to all the drip.
Absolutely.
And they just want to take a picture in the mirror.
It's
I'm
all
about to
about
take the mirror down.
It's all about the gram.
It's crazy.
God dang.
But it's
how far we've come.
I mean, go ahead.
Just talking about the safety aspect of it, like there was not that much concern for safety, even when we played it. And I know it, like we're not that old, but we didn't play not that long ago high school football. Like what 2008, 2009 was probably my freshman year, so you were kind of in middle school doing all that. But I remember, like, I don't know how you guys structure practice now. Nowadays it's kind of common to keep your lower tier guys going against lower tier guys, your best on best, which obviously iron sharpens iron. But I remember day one of freshman football practice, you were going against the senior varsity running back in a tackling drill. Like there was no concern. Like,
sorry, deal with it.
Yeah, I'm 120 pounds out there, and
see what he's got.
Stacy, our D1 bound running back, if his grades are just good enough, is going to tote the ball against you. Good luck tackling him, and just getting pulverized. Like,
I mean, just murdered. I remember my freshman year. I played JV. I could long snap, kinda. I was a center guard, whatever. And so I remember, we went pretty deep into playoffs that year. I think that was your junior year, maybe. And the offensive line that year, the defensive line, they were just studs all around. And I'm a little freshman, and I was an 8-quarter guy. That you can't do that anymore.
That's a whole other topic, dude. The
right?
8-quarter rule, wild times.
Yeah.
For the folks that don't know, you used to be able to, as long as you didn't play more than 8 quarters in a week, you were good. So, and we were in small school. So there was a JV game Thursday, varsity game Friday. Well,
there's
that's
only 2 games a week.
That's 8 quarters. You're good. So God
I
dang.
would,
So yeah, you were just nonstop, like for 2 straight days, getting your
yeah.
brains beat
And
in
so I played,
full speed.
I'd play my game Thursday night, and it's JV, but you're beat up, whatever. Friday nights I would go, I would never play. I think one snap during the season I played because the center had blood or something had to get cleaned up. And our O line coach looked at me. He goes, "All right, Jack, you going in?" And I said, "Huh? Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "You're going in. You're going in for center." I'm like, "Okay, all right." And we only had what 5 plays. That was the wing
Oh
T
yeah,
days. So we had left, right,
88,
whatever.
99,
Yeah, yeah, hit it. And I
10-12
was like,
trap.
and we were playing maybe Carolina. I don't know, but they had this nose guard who was built like, the front door of my house, just massive. And I looked at coach and he's like, "You're going in." And I'm like, "No, what do you want me to do?" He goes, "Just cut him." And by God, I went in there. I was supposed to back block on him, back. So we had a pulling guard, so I was blocking back. And I said, "I'm about to take this dude's ACL and destroy it. And I'm grabbing on and I'm not letting go." And by God, I got him down. Thank God that the starting center came back out. On my way back in, coach goes, "Good job. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about." I was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
my 8 quarter days are not as memorable. I remember I played all Thursday night. I would play linebacker, and then my role on Friday nights was to play some tight end. Like complete different sides of the ball.
Yeah.
You got to remember, again, the offense was pretty simple, but like it wasn't easy for a sophomore to kind of pick up all this
New.
stuff for a Thursday and Friday night. And I'll never forget, we were watching film like that next Saturday or whenever we were watching the film. "You out there looking like a chicken with your head cut off." I'm like, "Look, I practiced defense all week. I played defense all Thursday night. I'm sorry that I didn't know, yeah, as a 10th grader, what my role on this play was for Friday night at tight end, a completely different position. Like, it's just a far cry."
They we so our JV season ended that same year, and he pulled all the 8 quarter guys up full time for varsity for playoffs. And I thought I was just I'm in for it's a cakewalk. I just show up to practice, stand around, whatever, go to the game, stand there, look cool. No, so you were a glorified practice dummy the entire playoffs because you're trying to keep your starters healthy. You don't want to go best on best and get somebody beat up. Every day I'm sitting here lining up as a defensive tackle, and I look in front of me and I got a dude who was north south, all state, whatever. A dude that's twice my size, a dude that's 3 times my size, and bench presses 4 of me. And I'm just like, oh crap, they're coming right for me too. And this is the wing T, so we're blocking with flippers. Like they're coming
Yeah,
low,
old school.
doubles, I mean, they're coming low. And by God, if you didn't get touched, you better look to the right because there's a guard coming to ear hole you every day and of course we went deep in the playoffs that year. So it was probably 3 or 4 weeks of that, just getting
Yeah, I think we had a
tore
whole
up.
extra month that year.
Yeah.
Man, that reminds me. You remember how that playoff game ended? Uh, so
Columbia
the
High
question,
School.
yeah, the question was gonna be craziest fan interaction or just
God.
something related to the fans, and that's going to be my moment. Like I'm glad this kind of popped up. So for the folks that don't know, so we're traditionally an average team, right? Go 5-5 every year, whatever it might be. Maybe make the playoffs, but in terms of playoff runs, it wasn't something that happened too often. That particular year, I think it was like 2011. We go 3-4 rounds deep or whatever that year, and we end up losing on a last second throw, back of the end zone. This guy catches it. There's some controversy about whether his toe was down. I don't know. We didn't have review. Like we probably didn't even have cameras rolling. Who knows? But so the game's over. Season's over. Generational season we had is done. We had our number one fan, a local guy from town. He comes on
Still to
field
this day, number
to
one
this
fan.
day, the number one fan. We called him Big Red, but great dude, loves his team. But all throughout the season, he's front row, like getting the crowd hyped up and having a grand old time. And so after the game, and our coach was a no nonsense guy, right? And so after the game, he's a Big Red asked if he could say a few words to the team. And we're all thinking like, nah, there's no way he's going to let him talk. Well, coach, memorable season. So I guess coach was in his feelings. So he's like, all right, yeah, you can say a few words to the guy. So instead of, we're all expecting kind of the sorrow, like, great season, guys. Thanks for letting me tag along. Great memories. His first words were, "Y'all got effing screwed." And so right then and there, we had to cut the speech out. But have there been any other like crazy fan interactions that stood out?
Yeah, a few. Well, so first, yeah, so Big Red is still the number one fan. Shout out to you, man. You're best fan we have out there. I mean, he's at everything from football, soccer, but it doesn't matter. He's there. He is still, the guy there. But there's been, I guess, a relatively recent, I guess, number two fan, if you want to call it that. Yeah,
The
it's getting
VP.
big. Yeah. So let me just describe. I don't want to. I'm not putting his name out there or anything, but so anytime we win a game, right? This man, grown man, almost old man, makes a shirt. All right, and that may not sound too weird, but it's got Palmetto Mustangs on the front, the score and the date on the back for every game.
For
Don't know how
every
you
game,
keep
and
up
he
with
wears it the next week.
right, or he just wears it randomly. Like you'll just see him in the hall at a basketball game wearing a football shirt from last year. You're like, okay. Anyway, also wears a cowboy hat with a
Heck yeah.
horseshoe on it. Okay, so
Nice. I like the
just
horseshoe piece.
painting the picture for you. So so if you're on offense, right, this is what you'll hear, and I'll try to imitate as best I can. But you're standing on the sideline, you're trying to focus, even on a Thursday night when it's quiet. You're just looking, you're watching, and you just hear, "Come on, offense, block, block," and
The
it's the
all-time quote.
same. I mean, 5 times in a row, right? The entire drive. So then the flips, you get the ball, or you're on defense now, right? And then you just hear, "Come on, defense, get the ball back. Get the ball back." And it is just nonstop. And now that I've noticed it, I didn't notice it at first. Somebody pointed it out to me, and I hate them now because that's all I can think of. All I can hear is just, "Get the ball back, defense. What are we doing?" And it's like, oh, good idea, man. Never thought about that. What else could we do? But as far as interactions, I haven't really had too many. There was one like actual interaction where this is a kid, a JV kid again.
I love it.
Yeah, he had taken a personal 2 days that week, missed 2 days of practice for a vacation, whatever. At least he was honest and didn't lie, say it was something else. But anyway, misses 2 days of practice, which is our kind of Sunday we do film breakdown, whatever game plan. Monday we start to work on our game plan, get it right, get it ready. And by Wednesday, we're kind of just repping it just to make sure we got it. Monday and Tuesday are crucial. Well, misses those days, and game comes. And again, Thursdays, we try to get everybody out there. So we put him out there on defense. He's at safety, right? And, we're not doing anything crazy coverage-wise. It's not too complicated.
Can't be. It can't be.
Yeah,
Not on
and
Thursday
so,
night.
I mean, we gave the kid two options. Like, you do this or you do that. Well, he chose the third option that doesn't exist and just busts, gives up 50-yard touchdown. Man, I mean, dude had 30 yards between him and our nearest defender. And it's on him. And so he comes off, and you got to be not delicate, but these are younger kids. You're developing them,
Yeah.
so you can't
You
be too
gotta
harsh.
you gotta keep everything in mind.
Yeah, so we walk him through what went wrong, and he's upset with himself, which is at least he cares or whatever. And so we go back out there on defense. Same exact thing happens, right? So he gets pulled. He doesn't give up touchdown this time, just like 30-yard game. So he gets pulled, right? Well, after the game, it ends, and we're cleaning up, walking off. Out of nowhere, this dude walks up to one of our coaches, and it turns out it's the kid's dad, right? Walks up, just fingering his face, like, "Don't you ever pull my kid out of the game, yada, yada, yada." And I'm just like, what?
My
What
gosh.
are we doing, dude? And fortunately, the coach he was pointing at is probably more level-headed than I am, because, I mean, there's a switch, and if it goes, I'm 100% red hot, ready to go. You've probably gotten texts about it before, but anyway, that's probably the worst. His grandma was in the background with a cane, like cheering it on. Like, I'm like, what? I mean, small town football is probably the best. Thursday night small town football is one of the incredible scenes in the world.
Oh man, the people that come out of the woodwork for a small town JV football game or freshman football game, like you can't make it up. They're diehards, man. Like they're they're at the local pool hall throwing money down on the
Yeah,
JV football team that week and how they're gonna do.
yeah,
You can't make it up.
yeah, it's you can't make it up. Sometimes people should have to pay for that level of entertainment, but
No,
it's
I think we ought to just pack the stands out for sub-varsity football games
yeah,
and like just to get that thing rocking.
yeah,
I mean, it ought to, yeah, whatever it takes to get people in the building, like, because it is
load
pure
it up.
comedy. It's gold.
You could
Well,
sell that stuff on DVD.
dude, Yeah, freaking pay-per-views, man. I'm
Well,
telling
I
you.
guess DVD's not a thing anymore, but
Yeah,
you can
those
stream
days
it.
are gone, man. Well, I appreciate you taking your time tonight. I know it's
Yeah,
late over there.
anytime.
You had to knock out some softball stuff. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah,
But
anytime. Just let me know.
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, if anybody's listening and they want to reach out to you, is there some good socials or anything like that they can reach out to you on?
Yeah, so I try to make it easy. Every social media I have is just Jack Wardlaw. At Jack Wardlaw, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If it's football related, probably Twitter's your best shot, or X now, I guess. But anything. You can email me, whatever. If you can find my school email, just look up Palmetto High School and look for Jack Wardlaw. I'll be there. But yeah,
Heck yeah. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, the pride of Williamson, South Carolina, my hometown too.
yeah,
We're
go
brothers in case
Mustangs,
you
man.
guys didn't know. Yeah. Go Big Red, dude. Well, tell everybody back in the motherland that I said hey and I appreciate your time tonight.
Absolutely, I will tell my niece and nephews I love them. All right,
Yeah, absolutely, man. You get some rest, all right? I know it's a late night.
all right. I'll see you, man.
Yeah, have a good night, dude.